don't be afraid to think outside the box. Hey guys, it's Dan Greer with Forge coming in today for your 5-minute power up. And today we're chatting all about thinking outside the box. I'm going to start by telling you about a time that I went to go do some work for a city, for a electrical, like cooperative, rural electrical cooperative in Beaumont, Texas is where it was. I caught a flight down there, flew in late, landed, like I had some delays, got there like midnight. It was a couple years ago. Business was pretty green. I was green in what I was doing too, but I digress. I flew down there. I'd rented a car and I flew down and I landed in Beaumont at like midnight. Well, the car counter at the airport closed at 10 p.m. Why they let me rent a car at midnight, I don't know. But they did. They let me have a pickup time at midnight. And so the car counter was closed when I got there. And I was like, cool. It's Lily Bay town. I said, I'm going to see if there's an Uber. There was 2 Ubers in the whole town. I got an Uber to my hotel. I shot the guy a text message that I was going to go see the next day I delivered it at 6 a.m. I was like, hey, my rental car, I got in too late to get my rental car. I'm going to be a little late this morning. I'll text you when I'm out there. I'm going to go get it this morning from the rental car place. So I got an Ubered it back to the rental car place. Showed up and the guy goes, oh, we gave away your car. Wait, I'm here when you opened. You had my car when I closed. How in the world did you give away my car? Well, I don't know what to tell you. We oversold. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Anyways, I digress. My point is I didn't have my car. So it was a 30-minute drive from there to the place where I was going. And I got an Uber and I gave the guy one heck of a tip. And he Ubered me out there and he was super nice guy. He's like, just call me when you get ready to come back in. Here's my personal phone. I was like, cool. If I can't find a ride, I'll do it. So I went and I taught that class throughout that day. And in each break that I had, I was trying to figure out a new way to get home. I was like, is there any rental car places out here? Closest rental car place is Houston. And I'm like, crap, I should just flown into Houston. Anyways, I digress. I was like, closest rental car place is Houston. That's an hour and a half away. I got to figure out how to get to Houston to get a car so I can get back out here. I'm only here for 2 days. It's kind of ridiculous. Or 3 days. It's kind of ridiculous. So I was like, so I asked the co-op. I was like, man, this is kind of unique, but I don't have a truck. Is there any way you have a truck I can rent? I'll pay you for it. I got no problems with that. It's like, I just need something to get back and forth to the hotel because there's no hotels out here where you guys are at. And I'm in Beaumont and it's like 45 minutes away. And they're like, man, we just can't do that. And I was like, I totally get it. So then I got to thinking, I was like, man, Home Depot rents trucks by the day. Maybe I'll call Home Depot. So I called Home Depot and there was a Home Depot in Beaumont. And I was like, cool, I'll get an Uber back to Beaumont. I'll pick up a truck at Home Depot. So I called them. I was like, hey, I need a truck. And they're like, how long do you need for? I was like, 3 days. And they're like, 3 days? We do it by the hour. It's $20 an hour times 24 hours a day. That's going to be a lot of money. And I was like, huh, interesting. Well, let's see what else we have. And I was like, well, do you guys have a truck? They're like, yeah, we have a van. I was like, cool. What's the van cost? They're like, same thing. I was like, cool. Would you have me a break for 3 days? Like, I kind of explained the situation. They're like, no, we can't do that. Corporate policy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, whatever. So I kept looking around. I kept thinking, I was like, man, I get a budget. I call it budget. I try to get a car from them, like a van, a box van. I have a CDL, so I can drive a big box van back and forth, like no big deal. And I was like, so I called them. They didn't have any vehicles. There's nobody around there. Then I was like, man, what about if I rented a U-Haul? And so I called U-Haul. There's a local place there in the little town that we were in. They have like a gas station, a mechanic shop, and a U-Haul. Go figure. That's like all they had. They had like one restaurant. And, so I called U-Haul that was there, and the guy was like, I kind of explained my situation to the owner of the U-Haul place there, and he's like, here's what I'm going to do for you, bro. I'm going to hook you up with this. I'm going to give you a truck. It's going to have unlimited mileage on it, and I'm going to give it to you for this price for 3 days. It was cheaper than a rental car. It was like probably like $150 cheaper than my car was going to be. And I was like, cool. Can I pick it up tonight at 6:30 because that's when we get done training? And he was like, yeah, totally. So I had one of the guys that I was training give me a ride. He actually gave me a ride to his house because he was going to give me a ride back to Beaumont. And then the guy from U-Haul called me and then we worked out the deal. And I was like, yeah, can I pick it up tonight? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. And so the guy gave me a ride back to the U-Haul dealer after we went out to his house because he was going to tell his wife what was going on and see if she wanted to go for a ride. And so then he gave me a ride to U-Haul. I picked up the big old box van truck that I had and I drove it back and forth for the next 3 days. But like where there's a will, there's a way. That's my whole point of this. Okay. So I want to encourage you to get creative. Think outside the box. Don't just be like, I can't do it. I can't show up. There's no way. I can't do this. I can't deliver. Think about how you can deliver and how you can make it happen, because I'm telling you, like, I haven't rented from U-Haul again. It's not my motto, but like, I returned it and then I got an Uber to the airport and it was like super easy, right? I just returned it back to Houston. They let me drop it off in Houston. And then I got on the air. I changed my flight from Beaumont to Houston, got on a flight in Houston and flew back home. Like, yeah, it took some navigating on my part. I had to get creative. I had to explain what was going on. But all I did was be honest with people and tell them what their problem was. And people were willing to work with me because of what the situation was. It wasn't because I was an idiot. It was because things happen, right? But when things happen, get creative. All right, guys, that's it. That's my encouragement for you today. Get creative. All right, we'll talk to you later.